Yes, sir.
Welcome to Acquired Taste. This is our mid-season episode me and Koda are putting together for the Taste Buds.
Mm-hmm.
Next week is the season 1 premiere, or season 2 premiere. Last week was the season 1 finale, and right here in this middle ground, we're doing an interview with a living legend, as his sweater will tell you, Jasey Cordeta.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Started
Yes,
off
sir.
right.
How you doing, brother? It's good to see you.
Man, I'm doing better than some. You feel me? We in the motherfucking building.
That's humble.
You
I
feel
like
me?
that.
Fish gang activity.
Fish gang
It's a
activity.
beautiful. It's a beautiful movement. It's a beautiful thing. You know, I'm here just counting all the blessings, raking it all in. Yeah, excited to be on this motherfucker. Excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Um,
Yes, sir.
our podcast, this thing that we do, we try to deep dive into
Mhm.
different albums, and we listened to 2 of your albums this week. So we're gonna talk about them a little bit, and then ask you some questions as they come along. What do you got, Koda B? Would you like to see your notes?
Yeah. Let me see my notes, man.
I have your notes.
All right. So I got your album, The Corner Store Project,
Okay.
and
Yes, sir.
shout out Ellis. He made the cover art for that. Correct.
Yes,
Um.
sir.
Yes.
Alice Fish gang
Yeah, man. This is a
cover
good
art.
project. I just listened to it today, right before recording, as I often do, before we do these episodes. Um, few songs that stood out to me was Weekend. I like the chorus on there and you know the vibe of the beat. I think the whole album you did really, you had really good beat selection and everything. Um, and then Letter to Sun, I thought that was probably the strongest song on there that stood out to me the most.
It's a good one.
You had one line specifically that was uh, destined for the top, it's in your bloodline. Been to places where I heard thugs cry, so I praise the Lord, no blasphemy. I went through that so you wouldn't do that after me. And that one was
Mm.
like, that shit hit me. So
Yes, sir.
I get the, you know, wanting to pass down, or you want your kin to have a better life and upbringing than you, and you want everyone to thrive. So what do you think, man? What do you think?
He said, "Man."
Fuck, man. I didn't really have a question. I was just like, damn, I really fucking like this song. Um,
Nah, I appreciate that. That's real.
yeah. What's a line on this album, if you can remember, that really like means the most to you?
What I would say, shout out to Desi G, DJ Ice from the Corner Store
Mm,
Collective out of Los Angeles, California. You know, they got the Corner Store platform on Instagram. And big shout out to DJ Gabe C, you know, out there in LA Leakers official, got his own platform. But I slid out there to LA, just I rap on some real shit as far as like I do it because I love it. You know what I mean? Like I'm always rap. You feel me? Because it's just something that I do. It's something that's in me. So I had that notion and the idea to make a move to Los Angeles, California, and because I got roots there. I was born there.
mm,
My cousin was making big moves in the industry down there, working with Power 106, Shade 45, LA Leakers. You know what I mean? A lot of those artists coming out of there. So I went down there a little bit after Nipsey passed. So probably like the COVID era. I went down there and I was working in the studio, south of the 10 Studios. Shout out to DJ AD. Working with Desi G, DJ Ice, DJ Gabe C. We in the studio constructing, and this is we're constructing the weekend from scratch.
mm.
Like we had the beat, like we kind of picked the beat, like it was already like a little bit of the beat kind of laid out, but it wasn't all the way laid out. It was like a loop or something like that. So DJ Ice got to working on it and putting his magic on it. And I would say that song, I wouldn't have. There's not a specific line, but I would say that song right there has a lot of power to it because we were in the studio recording it. Like I did my verse, wrote it quick. You know what I mean? Like 15 minutes or less. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Then Desi G goes in there. He gets his verse written in like 15 minutes or less. You know what I mean? Then DJ Ice is, as we're recording, DJ Ice flipped the beat. Like he reversed it at the end. And then he's going so hard on the engineering that he passes the fuck out in the studio.
Oh, shit.
Like he just passes out. Like he's on the board and then he just passes the fuck out. I'm like, what the fuck was that? You know, like it was some true hip hop magic going on in there that day. You know, I'm thankful for all them cats right there, all them dudes, my good guys. And yeah, it just marked a moment in hip hop for the West Coast, especially for the Pacific Northwest. You know what I mean? Putting on for the Rose City, working with Desi G and DJ Ice, and we were just chopping it up. He's like Desi G, like man, he telling Gabe C, he like man, you know your cousin man, he spit that hot shit man. I might gotta capitalize and make like for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Make a platform for artists that can spit. Let's bring the spitting back to hip hop. So he started building that studio down there. We eventually went down there. Figure Eight was with us when we shot the Needed
You were there.
video with West
You were
Side
in the
Boogie,
corner store.
Oh shit.
Swiggle.
Koda B
You
and
know what I'm
Young
saying?
Ned.
Produced
Shout
by
out.
Kenai, and yeah, it
That's
was.
crazy.
I'd say that song right there just marked like a just like a moment in my career as a creative. You know what I mean? As an MC,
Yeah.
I say, because I look at it like so many people have went to the corner store and spit at the corner store. When we were making those songs, those records that day, it was inspiring something bigger than I ever expected. Like
Yeah, they're booked
so
out a
many artists.
year or some shit. The last I heard, like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they shout out the corner store. That's why I got the corner store project that you guys listen to. That's on all platforms, all streaming platforms. But I also got another one on my mixtapes. I've been pushing it on my mixtapes. A little bit of the coast to coast mixtapes. It's the corner store revamp. I put a lot of unheard tracks on there and a lot of mixtape tracks. Like the joint we got with Keith Murray, joint I got with Jewels, the joint with
Yeah.
Jim, the joint. I just put a bunch of big records on the corner store revamp. Just in honor of how big, we've done it just from an idea. So I would say, yeah, that not, I wouldn't have a specific bar, but I would say that moment right there
Okay. Yeah. Sweet. That.
captured the corner store.
Yeah. It's kind of hard. Like it's kind of a hard question to answer just because like, how do you can't like there's so much work that goes into like an album that you can't really just pinpoint. I just didn't know if there's one specifically that you had, but I do have another question for you because throughout the album, like you bring up your heritage a lot and like being Filipino and everything like that. So like, how does your that kind of like culture tie into your music and what you do? Like, how do you use that to make your art?
I would say Jasey Cordeta speaks for itself as
Mm.
far as like it comes from the Philippines. My family, I'm a first generation Filipino American on my pop side, on my dad's side. So like just growing up with a whole lot of first generation American Asians or Filipinos, Islanders, they in hip hop, you got your brothers, you got your Puerto Ricans, you got your Slim Shadys, you know what I mean? But there hasn't really been too many of those Filipinos, those Islanders that made that real stamp, that real mark
For
within hip
sure.
hop. You know what I mean? So as far as like I look at it as in like I'm wearing like a jersey. I'm wearing like a flag, so every time I ever step to the microphone, like I'm representing like multiple uh multiple like movements that are with me. You feel me? Like Northeast Portland, for example. or like the Filipino heritage, for example. I'm representing more than just myself. That's how I look at it. You know, so like when like Filipinos, like the Pinoys, are looking for like a real hot spitter, because that's what I bring to the table. Like I bring just the bar spit, lyricism, flow patterns, uh, uh, the original like legendary type shit. That's what I bring to the table. So I feel as if I'm that voice when it comes to like that lyrical monster when it for the Filipinos, as far as Filipino American hip hop. Especially with like the big moves that I made. Just as far as like if I follow my whole career, as a teenager, opening up for Dead Prez, Immortal Technique, D12, what I mean, getting the Cox Records look. You know what I'm saying? After that, rocking with the Bird Gang West, Warner Bros. Days, you know what I mean? To having to take a hiatus for a minute, but coming back to the game, you know what I mean? When I met Fig, you feel me? Uh, Becoming one of the first fish, you feel me? Uh, Making those connections. I had to represent the Filipino side of me this entire time. You know what I mean? But like uh, all the moves that I made, working with the fish, getting to the radio, getting to these labels like, you know what I'm saying, 730 West, Vamp Life, Empire, Shade 45, LA Leakers, all that I'm representing the Filipinos as like the first generation American going around, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it, like I'm running with the pack who carrying the torch. Because there is some other artists, you know what I mean, that's the first generation Filipino Americans that's putting it down, you know what I mean, making that wave. But that's how I look at it. I look at it, I'm like, I'm the lyricist of the bunch. You feel me?
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, man.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great answer. Um, let's see what else I got. Yeah, because you are very lyrical. Like I think you're one of the definitely, you know, just in our area. Like you have some of the best like just straight up bars. Just like the things you say. Um, at first, like they're kind of like just went over my head a little bit. Like I had to. There was a few
You get
like
hit in the forehead a couple
yeah,
times,
like
bro.
I run it back. I ran this album back. Like there would just be a line that I kind of run back. Um, where do you think that that lyricism came from? Like, is that something that you've just always had, or is it something that you really had to like hone in and practice? Like, have you always just been able to just like put these intricate lines together, or has it kind of just been natural?
I would say first I started off listening to a whole lot of West Coast music, a lot of Snoop, Pop, Dre, uh, as a youth. Then I started drifting off into a little. Obviously, if you listen to Dre, you're gonna listen to Eminem, you know. But then I started drifting off a little more east, listening to a little more Jay, a little more Nas, a little more Big, a little more Pun, And I said, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take their strategy. I'm gonna look at how they construct their music because like I like to think, So I'm like I'm gonna take the way that they construct their music, but I'm gonna keep the West Coast essence of it, And I'm gonna come with the lyricism, just because like I naturally did kind of put those lyrics together, kind of like that, but I couldn't deliver it at first,
Right.
as a young rapper, I couldn't deliver those bars just like that at first. But I started battle rapping, and when I started battle rapping, I got good at punching. So when I got good at punching, that's when I kind of got good at being able to kind of take the battle rap and put it on the track. Then I got better at just all around rapping.
Okay, yeah. So it started off kind of just like as an influence from other people.
Your head was ahead of your mouth for a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
well, I can definitely hear the influences. Um, but yeah, man, you still got like still unique enough to where
It's
it
cool
stands
hearing
out.
a West Coast artist care diligently about that type of lyricism. Not that like, Nipsey's super lyrical, but it's
Right.
not in the same way that a Wu-Tang or a Jay-Z is. So to have the West Coast flair on something like that is super cool and unique. That's what I've always loved about you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's
Man, appreciate that.
yeah, dude. That's all the questions I got right now for that album. But congratulations on that. The Corner Store project. Everyone go listen to it, and then Figs got some questions for you.
I had Mob
Yes,
for Life,
sir.
the Street album. Um,
Okay, yes, sir.
Off top, Dear Portland Police, the anthem with Cool Chief Rocker, Anael Janice, and Swiggle. Super dope. I wasn't at the video shoot, but I remember the era in which it happened. I had a remix of the song. It was cool to see the evolution of that, and it starts out the record. That's how we get into this album, which I thought was super tight. You're just immediately, you're in the street. Welcome aboard. We are here. Um,
Yes,
the Game
sir.
C freestyle, I think there's a music video to that. That's one of my favorite songs of yours. It's just like quotable after quotable, really replayable. Um, I didn't know that was on this album, so like when it came on, I was like, "Oh, my boy." And then you
Yes,
have a song
sir.
on here called "On Me," which actually went on to inspire a song on my album called "On My Life." Like I'd kind of take your songwriting structure and kept the wording there, but I used to listen to that shit all the time when it first came out. I feel like you
Man,
may have even
appreciate
shown it
you.
to me before you recorded it. Like we were just
Right.
chilling on the block. Um, yeah, and then Mackin' and Hangin', I feel like is one of the only songs with features other than DJ Skew Beezy on every track.
Right.
Uh,
Yes, sir. My
but
good guy.
Mackin' and Hangin' is fucking awesome. Timmy kills the hook. It's a really, really good song. And then it gets super introspective at the end, which I guess Koda talked about a little bit with his album. But it's always nice to see you when you slow down and dig deep, and you kind of closed out the album a little more like it was for sure less aggressive, but it also seemed more thought out and profound with each bar that you had because you were doing less words at a time. So you were like, if I'm gonna slow it down, I gotta be saying something in this motherfucker. I really
Yes,
liked
sir.
this album. I don't think I'd ever listened to it all in order. I think I've heard every single song. There was no song where I was like, what the fuck is this? Where does this come from? But listening to it in the order that you picked, um, in pretty much one go, and then I went back and listened to the last two again because the child distracted me. But it really good. I really liked it. Where did you record it? Was my first question.
I recorded that Mob for Life at Zebulon.
Zebulon.
Zebulon Dax.
You know what I mean? Momentum Studios,
That's
man.
what I
Rose
thought. I
City,
was
PDX,
hoping so.
right there. Yes, sir. Shout out to Zeb. You feel me? Mob for Life. It's on all streaming platforms. You know, featuring the Dear Portland Police anthem, Cool Nuts, Cool Chief, Swiggle, Anael, that Mackin' and Hangin', Timmy Hendrix, Rucci, out of LA. And the dude who produced that track, he produced a lot of records for the game. So it was like that was like a big record right there at the time, and
Dope.
still a big record. You know, like I said, I'm representing for first generation American Pinoys, especially with the rap shit. You know, so yeah, making those moves right there is like laying a stone, laying a foundation. You feel me? So like I look at myself like a UGK type nigga, like a 8 ball MJG type nigga. Like I'm laying the foundation, like first go round. You know what I mean? Meeting all these people, going to all these radio stations, but it's like no other, besides like the ones that's from my generation. Like, and we probably know each other, or we know somebody that know each other that knows somebody. You know what I mean? Like on the West Coast, as far as that, like it's like laying a foundation. So that Mine for Life right there, I put my grandparents on the cover of it. With Fernandad
I saw that. That's
Marcos
dope.
of the Philippines. So that project right there, I took some time to kind of like paint a picture of the lifestyle that I was living around that time, or living uh living around that time, that decade, that era, and I feel as if it captured the emotion of that time, especially with the Dear Portland Police. It got the music video. It was a big movement in Portland. Like I know some girls that went to high school with me. They're like, we're at the front of the protest, we had your song on repeat for 18 hours fighting the police. I'm like, damn. You know, and then it's like gets like a bunch of press on the blogs and the newspapers. They're like, this is like a soundtrack to the Portland riots. You know what I mean? It's around the same time like when they were doing the Mississippi Red House defense and the George Floyd. So like it all kind of like hit the fan in the country at that time. So you know, to be able to have a track like that for the movement, you know, that was monumental. I'm grateful for that.
That actually leads into my next question. I was at those protests a lot of those nights. Me, Tag, and Ellis and Janessa were there almost every single day. We heard that song a lot. We heard that song
Right.
a lot. My next question was: it did feel like you were in the same mindset for the entirety of the album. Did you record this in a short period of time? Because it felt like it was the same guy. And I feel like year after year we all change so much that when we make those albums where you combine the old and the new, sometimes you can tell a little bit just based on song writing, but like you were locked in, it felt like. Was it a short session?
It was actually it took like it was like a an era where I was traveling all over the West Coast from Seattle to Portland to Sac to Reno to Vegas to LA. You know, I was moving around, getting to it, meeting people, working on music. You know what I mean, hustling, getting money, and I actually was in Arizona because they were the first city. Phoenix was the first city to open up during the COVID. I was down there in Phoenix, and that's when the riots hit. You know,
I
I started seeing on
remember
the
that.
Facebook.
I remember
They're
because
like
me
they're
and
like, you
Timmy
coming back
called
up
you one of
here?
those nights. Wow.
Yep. And I hopped in the charger. I started gassing back up to the town. Started gassing back up, and but you know, around that era, like with the Gabe C freestyle, you know, for Shade 45 LA Leakers, uh, that era really like marked. I would say yeah, I was dialed in. It was a short session. It was like I would say like a year experience, but like it was boiled up from a point. You know what I mean? Like I had went to Hawaii already. I had went to New York already. I had you know, I was buying cars.
Yeah, you were on the
You know, I mean,
move.
we
I
were going,
remember it.
we were outside going to strip club after strip club, show after show. Like we were opening up for fucking Yuck Mouth, Mike Jones.
You were
Uh,
turning up.
we were turning the fuck up. You know what I mean? So like right when I recorded that project, like we were at a very high height. You know what I mean? Like everybody was outside. Like they had kind of like when the COVID hit, it kind of like it didn't even really slow us down. Like we were still outside, like and we were still like constructing plays and getting and drafting blueprints and putting it together like Chinese letters, you know. But yeah, that was a very very interesting era. And like yeah, I really do feel as if I captured that era on that project. So yeah, that project means a lot to me right there. You know, I'm working on that mod for life too. You know, it's gonna be a little different. You know, we diving deeper into different subjects, different life experiences. Like you said, we all grow. You know, so I'm trying to that mod for life too is more on some grown man shit, but we still getting to that motherfucking money. You know, that shit right there. That mod for life too gonna be a nice one.
I like that you do sequels. I'm a big fan of sequels. I'm a sequels guy. I'm a
Yes,
reboot
sir. Yes,
guy. I'm a
sir.
sequel guy. I don't think
Soundtrack
it's
of our life. You know, movie shit, cinema.
absolutely. Um, do you have a specific artist? How do I word this? Like when you make an album, do you feel like if it's starting to sound like an artist, you shift away, or do you lean into it, or does that not really happen? Because it does feel like you weave in between influences throughout the album a little bit.
Yeah, I would say as far as like these albums, they are what I would consider albums, nonetheless. But I would consider these street albums. So I look at these as like I'm kicking in the door I'm kicking in the door. Like I had an era before. Like I said, the Bird Gang West Warner Bros. Era. You know what I mean? That was like underground. This one's like still underground, but we came to all streaming platforms this time around, like with all the singles. I mean, all the singles and all the albums. You know what I mean? The street albums. So now I look at it, working with the artists. We're going to New York, working with Jim Jones, uh, linking in with 730, Empire, Vamp Life. I look at it now, shout out to DJ TKO, like I said, hosted the Corner Store Revamp Project. I look at it now like I'm in the mixtape circuit. You feel me? We did the record with Keith Murray. You know what I'm saying? We got the records with Bill Saber. We got the record with Westside, Jim, a number of artists. You know what I mean? Even some tracks I'm not on. The Spice One. I'm on that joint with the video. Off the Fish album, and I would say. I would say in this mixtape circuit now I'm gonna shift more towards bringing that consistency of a variety pack. You know what I mean? Like, cause today's era, like, I came up in the 50 Cent era, the Lil Wayne era, the Wiz Khalifa era. But as the eras keep growing, like Wiz comes to Mac Miller. You know what I mean? We grew up watching Jackass, so like that's why I fuck with the Fish Gang movement. Like as far as like the movie movement that going on with the movement. Uh, yeah, I would look at it like how it would come out in the mixtape circuit with a variety pack and like not just like if I'm making a project that's like freestyles and shit or like more leaning towards like the freestyle, you know what I mean? I'm jacking for beats this time around. You know what I mean? It ain't even gotta go on all platforms. Then I'm gonna have some projects like Mile for Life 2, Black and White Classic 2, that's gonna go to all platforms because like I'm in the mixtape circuit, but I'm trying to crack through that gate to the bigger level, the bigger platform. When I'm trying to get it to the point, not trying, but we aiming to make a hit. If we can't make a couple, if not, you know what I mean? Like try to get to some gold records. You feel me? Some shit like
Touch a
that. Like work
plaque.
with some
Yeah.
right, you know what I mean? Like work with some produce like, like you said, I'm kind of varying within influences, but like, like now with these next projects, I'm gonna kind of like try to dig deeper within myself. You know what I mean? Since I consider myself in the mixtape circuit and I'm working with DJ TKO, I'm definitely gonna get with Ellis from the 810 on some new cover arts, video production. I'm working with Koda on some beats. We working on the Black and White Classic too. So working with DJ TKO, we got Cannabis, the feature with Cannabis on the line, Benny Siegel, Memphis Bleak Freeway, a few more big names, just to push, try to kick the door in 2025 in the mixtape circuit, and then see what we looking like after that. See if we can't connect with some producers or try to make a hit or two. That's how I'm looking at it right now. So yeah, with the next projects, I'm gonna dig deeper within myself. That's what we working on, and try not to if it's a certain project, try to like stick with the rhythm of the project. If it's bar for bar freestyle shit, no hook, yeah, we gonna jack for beats or like maybe get some dope beats like some boom bap with some samples and shit. Uh, yeah, you feel me? Like I got like that new record I got like kind of like in the mixtape circuit. Uh, Big Dreams featuring Fuego Bass from the Black Soprano family. Like because this year I was really more like working on myself and I was dropping some singles throughout the year. You know what I mean? And I was on a bunch of features on a bunch of people's albums, on the Fish album, on the Noise for the Void album. You know what I mean? On Swiggle album, on my Day One Zoe, Star Cookie 2K album. Uh, yeah, drop for some street artists. But this time around, and the record with Fuego Bass from BSF Griselda. Um, so this time around, I believe that record right there. Shout out to DJ TKO and my people over there at 730. Uh, I believe that record right there is kind of what lined me up to get into the mixtape circuit because of all the records that we did. You know what I mean? Working with Jim, working with Westside, working with Spice. You know what I mean? Then to be able to get with Benny the Butcher's artist, I think that right there kind of gave us a chance to get into that mixtape circuit. And then put it down, put my best foot forward, see what we can do, and then try to make a hit around this motherfucker. I'm in the state of mind now, like I'm trying to put together some hits, even if I'm not even on the record.
Right.
You know what I
DJ
mean?
Khaled.
I'm trying to DJ Khaled some shit too.
Yeah,
So that's the that's the way I'm coming at the game this time around.
Well, thanks for sitting down with us, JC. Do you have anything you want to
Yes,
say
sir.
to the viewers? Anything you want to tell them coming up? Anything to go check out specifically?
Hey, yo, Jasey Cordeta in the motherfucking building. You feel me? Fish Gang official, Law Gang official, Money Militia in this motherfucker. 730 Vamp Life. Hey, check it out. All my music is
Check
on
it.
all major streaming platforms. JASEY CORDETA. Check me out on YouTube. I'm with the Fish Gang got a whole bunch of shit coming out. I'm working on the project for Figure 8 Black and White Classic 2. Hey
You're
man, we got some hot shit coming out, man. I just want to thank y'all for letting me come up on the podcast.
Yeah, thank
Hey
you
y'all stay
for
tuned
doing
to all
this,
the new
man.
shit.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for
man, this shit
coming.
is
This
live.
was fun.
Lit.
We've had
You feel me?
three guests so far, and two of them are brothers. So that's cool.
Now we gotta get your other
Yes, sir.
We
fucking
gotta
brother.
get Timmy on here.
Yes, sir. We're gonna keep it lit.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. This will be out. We'll send you some content from this. It'll be we're not good at the scheduling, but
No.
it has a date. It's coming out already.
Yep.
We just gotta put it there.
Yes, sir.
Have a great rest of your night, my guy. We will talk to you soon. Me and Koda both got musical things on the way, be it beats and features with Jasey Cordeta. Go check him out everywhere. Follow him on Instagram, and we'll see you next week for the season 2 premiere of Acquired Taste.
Let's go.
Say the thing.
Taste
you later.
Taste
buds.
feels more dumb when there's someone sitting across from you.